guys, and welcome back to another episode of
And on that note,
Okay, ladies, so what are we talking about today?
All the juicy goss.
Yeah, well, definitely all the juicy goss. Well, I just want to talk about our gorgeous Melanin Monarch, Meghan Markle. So,
Wow.
I love Meghan. Absolutely.
I don't know
What was her name in that program again?
I don't know. I never watched Suits. I never watched it.
That's it.
I never watched it.
Emma.
I never watched it.
Is it? I don't know.
No, it wasn't Emma. I don't remember her name.
I never watched it.
She doesn't give me enough for me to like judge whether or not I like her or dislike her.
Oh,
I just don't know. Like I'm just like,
Yeah, so I was watching Good Morning Britain, and there's this whole this whole fiasco about her and Harry apparently going around on a private jet in the space. I think they went on a private jet 7 times in the space of like 2 months or something like that. So basically,
Living
you know,
life. Sorry.
living life. Yeah, living life. But basically, the British public are quite pissed off with them because I think Harry is very much someone who talks about the environment and leaving
And
your
Meghan, to be fair.
yeah, both of them actually. I think they're quite vocal about, you know, the environment and leaving your carbon footprint and just making sure that, you know, that we're looking after the earth and whatnot. And I think they go to these global summits where, you know, the world's richest people all come together and they're discussing about how should we save the earth? How should we make sure that, you know, the earth doesn't blow up? So I think they get involved in like, I think they like come together.
Do you recycle?
No, I don't.
How she doesn't. But her mockery.
No, but obviously what I'm saying is that, so anyway, there's this whole big deal about them flying around private jet. And then to add insult to injury, what's the other one? What's the brother who's going to be king? William and Katie.
There's literally one brother.
Whatever. I'm only thinking about Harry and Meghan. But anyway, so what added insult to injury? So everyone's basically going ham on these guys, saying that, oh, they're hypocrites. They shouldn't be talking about saving the earth if they're going to be taking private jets left, right and centre. That why can't they take an economy flight? Why can't they just fly first class and whatnot? And then, so like I said, to add insult to injury, William and Katie are going to, I think they're going to Scotland and they're taking a train. But you can't compare going abroad where you need an actual plane compared to going to Scotland and taking the train. And I honestly think that the only reason why William and Kate are taking the train now is because they've seen the aggro that Harry, 100%, because they've seen the aggro that Harry and Meghan have got about taking a private jet. So
even still,
what do you lot think about this whole thing? Are they not entitled to have a private jet? I don't think it's a big deal, to be honest.
Do you know what?
I don't think it's a big deal.
Even if they did take a private jet, William and Kate, I don't think they would get the same backlash.
They wouldn't get the same backlash. Yeah, it's true. Because the whole thing is that they're always trying to paint Meghan in a bad light. And they're trying to say that. And the thing is, even though they're coming for Harry, I feel like they're making it out like,
it's Meghan that's the driving force. Because Meghan was a celebrity. And that's exactly how they made it seem. They were like, oh, Meghan, you know, she's from that Hollywood lifestyle. I'm not being funny. I don't remember Meghan in any high profile Hollywood movie. She was in Suits and Suits alone. That's all I know.
And even still, she's like giving up those ways and conform to the way of a royal.
She's had to sacrifice in some other way.
I'm not funny. Even when she was in Suits, I don't think she was flying private jet anyway. But I think Harry was already doing private jet beforehand. But I feel like they're just trying to pinpoint and make it on her. Like she's the issue. Like she's the one that wears the pants in that marriage. Like she's the person that doesn't want their child to be seen on, making that public appearance. You know, when the royals have a baby, they always stand on the porch of the hospital. Or, you know,
did she not do that? She did that.
She didn't do it.
But they showed us the baby.
The picture,
but
like
then
months
on social media, they showed it first on Instagram. And even when they announced the birth of, baby Archie.
Who's Archie again?
Archibald.
That's the baby, bro. The thing is, I fully don't care.
Because the Jamaicans were like, yes, Archibald.
Archibald. Archie, pull up. But so she what's it? They didn't have like a proper picture of Archie. They released it on Instagram, and even when they announced the birth of their baby, again it was done via Instagram, and then the palace then put out a report saying that that she's had a baby, but up until that point the palace had put out that the Duchess is now has gone into labour, but at that point my girl's given birth and she's already said to everybody, I've given birth, and put a picture. She's already announced it. So, but I feel like
what's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but they needed to make sure that they were aligned.
They need to make sure they're aligned. Yeah. But I don't think it's Meghan, because they're acting like Meghan's the one handling the social media account. Like, I'm sure they've got people doing it for them. Meghan had a social media account before she got married to Harry, and as soon as she became a like part of the monarchy, she had to not be active on social media anymore.
They need to make up their mind, because 1 minute you don't like Meghan again. Next minute you want to see the baby. What to say? Make up your mind.
If they want to show their baby via Instagram, what is the problem? Like, they need to remember that Harry might also have some issues with the whole of the British public because of the way his mum passed away. He's obviously told us he found it hard to grieve the loss of his mum. So maybe that's why he's like, no, I'm not even going to announce it to the public like that.
Exactly. Let's be honest, right? I feel like, okay, are they obligated?
Shower.
So we're women. We're women.
Anything. If they really want it, they don't have to show one
at all.
Kobo. They don't have to do anything.
But I feel like to some degree they do, because they are royal, and the British public, the taxpayer pays their way basically. True. So I think that's the reason why. So you're naturally invested. Yeah, basically you're naturally invested whether you want it, whether you want to or not.
But the thing is, I'm part of the British public,
and you just don't care.
I don't care. So
I don't care either.
But it's a thing where it's like, I feel like I get what you're saying, because I pay those same taxes that fuel their lifestyle. But for me, it's one of those things where if they decide right now today, we are not selling any more pictures, we're not sharing anything, I'll be like, okay. Exactly. Those people that are really like, no, we want to see a child.
Shut up.
I'm like, why? You people need to question why. It's like, what does it add to your life? I get why the media feel like that, because that's their job and that's how they sell. But the common British public, I'm like, my friend, go and read some book somewhere. Like, what do you mean?
It's true. And I think people need to just give them some space as well, because they have to remember that they're even a new family. They haven't been married for that long. They haven't even been dating for that long. It's just like, wow, they just had a baby. Like, can they breathe? Yeah, can they actually breathe? Because it's one thing after another. Like, I feel bad for Meghan because she's just getting a whole load of stick. She's not even from the UK. She must
she's over here by herself. What does this even mean? Her mum doesn't even stay here.
Exactly.
Like that, so.
I feel so bad for her. Yeah. And do you know what? I just feel like they're just out for this girl. So I remember even when it was Christmas, so apparently how it works is that all the royal family, the immediate royal family, go to, I think it's Buckingham Palace or somewhere in Windsor. They go to Sandringham. They go Sandringham for dinner. Palace. And then Christmas but this time round, obviously Meghan is an only child for her mum. So this time round, Meghan's mum was there. And so, oh my Lord, I was reading just comments online, what people were saying about this, and they're just like, the help came. Yes, that's exactly what they were saying about Meghan's mummy.
Miss
Doria.
This mentality is a whole load of
they
trash.
were saying the help is coming. The reason why Meghan's mum is there because Meghan demanded it. If she wasn't with Harry, she would be spending Christmas most likely with her mum. She's the only child. She's the only child.
If it was me, I'd demand that.
Who wouldn't? Yeah, who wouldn't?
I'm an only child. My mum only has me. Why would I not want to spend Christmas with my mum?
Yeah,
regardless with who I'm married to.
And there's 15 of you with your grandkids and whatnot. And
exactly.
So basically what they were saying was that, Kate's parents have never been. Kate's mum and dad have got another two other kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they've got each other. Kate's mum and dad have got each other. Doria Gland or whatever her name is. She's only one person by herself.
That's terrible,
and at the end of the day,
empathy.
They've got no empathy. And even you can see from how their wedding was, she was the only person there that was probably her blood relative. Every other person was just a friend. Do you think that was by chance, or do you think that was by choice? Shall I say?
That's just it.
That was just it, because that's the dynamics of her family. Do you know what I'm saying? But I just felt like they're just giving this girl too much issues. And then I think what makes it worse is that they add they almost try to paint her out. And maybe I'm being a bit too emotional about this, but I feel like they almost paint her as like the angry black woman to some degree.
Yeah.
And it's just not nice. I think it's quite painful.
Especially because of who she was associated with when she was a an actress. Like obviously she's friends with Serena.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
so like her best friend. Serena's her best friend.
I read about that.
Yes, and they think she's like masculine. You know, when she shouted, well, not shouted, but she told the umpire for accusing her of cheating. Yeah, so they're probably going to think, well, if that's her type of friend, she might, you know, they say you are the people you keep. So they're probably going to think she's really similar to Serena. And even saying that, I don't think Serena's an angry black woman. And if she is, she has every right to be, because people, how can I say, take the piss? People take the piss out of her.
Yeah. So, speaking on that incident, I remember, George, you were saying that when she did go to watch the tennis match with to support Serena, I think obviously she was sitting with everybody else, but she had her security or whatever. And then I think so somebody taking a picture of the match or whatever they were taking a picture of, and then the security guard like kindly asked the woman to stop taking a picture. That woman obviously thought, okay, this is my 15 minutes, and basically said that, oh, you know, Megan told the security guard to not let me take pictures of her. I wasn't even taking pictures of her. I was taking pictures of the match, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, why do they still come for this woman? She wasn't, even if the security guard took it upon himself, he was trying to do his job. That's no means to say that Megan specifically said to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like they constantly kind of are trying to find fault. You
Anything. Everything. They're trying to find fault. They're trying to say that, you know, she needs to understand she's part of the royal family. She's no longer a celebrity anymore. They're not celebrities. They're part of they're a royal family.
But are the royals not celebrities?
They are, because the people have made them celebrities. They've glamorized them.
And they've been put on a pedestal. Like
100%.
The queen is the queen, do you know what I'm saying? But everybody else in the family, like when you see Princess Eugenia or whatever they call her, Princess Beatrice, and the bunch of them,
she's got paparazzi, you know.
Bro, this is the thing. It's like when you're chasing her, bro. You're televising her wedding. Are you not making her a celebrity? Like, do you know what? Make up your mind.
It all just comes back to them not being able to like cope with a woman of colour in the monarchy. That's it.
But the thing is, a lot of the British public, I'm sorry, they're fake. I remember when the
wedding,
when the Duchess, her husband.
There we go.
Mountbatten, innit? Mountbatten Windsor.
Mountbatten.
So I remember when they were getting married, and all my colleagues, you know, when they overcompensate, like quite a few people were like to me, "She's just so beautiful, isn't she? Yeah. She's just so beautiful." I was like, "She's been there." Like, why all of a sudden is she so beautiful? I was like, you're overcompensating.
That's what I was going to say.
Like,
why do you think you're saying that?
And why are you telling me?
Why are you telling me?
I can't relate. Chase behind that phone. Oh, you look like Megan. No, I don't.
Why are you telling me? I just to say that I'm going to be like, oh, like this indirect
Oh
compliment.
my goodness. I'm not being funny, but somebody said to me, actually, I think my hair, so obviously, you know, I like to be changing up my hair. So I was wearing another hair.
You need to do the DMX challenge.
You do.
About 3 kids.
I think we should.
So what's it?
I don't have that many hairstyles.
Somebody actually said to me, I remember, now that you just said that, now that we're just saying that, somebody said to me, oh my gosh, Georgia, your hair looks like Meghan Markle today.
You're joking.
I promise to God. So I had my hair I had my hair all pinned up. And it wasn't even like pinned up like any snazzy fancy pinned up. I just done one small like this, and I used black bobby pins just to pin it all up together, just to get it off my neck.
Yeah.
Oh my God. With that side part and everything, you look exactly like Megan.
You're joking.
I said, what? This is the first time. I was like, girls, Felicity, Felicia, all of y'all need to exit. All of y'all need to exit because you're chatting shit. Like, that's exactly it. Chatting rubbish. How do I look like Megan?
Where did that even come from?
Just because they need to find a comparison.
But the thing is, I don't get it, because yes, Megan is a black woman, if that's what you want to call her. But at the end of the day, she's not like typically black.
Yeah,
she's not.
She's even on the fairest end of the scale.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, but then sometimes I do wonder, like when people look at someone and they're labeled as black, do they just lump them into like a pool of people and just say, well, you're all black, regardless of your shades or tonations? Your black is black.
Did you say your tonations?
Your tonations.
Your tonations.
They just say like,
we've discovered a new
word. No matter what colour you are, if you're Indian, whatever, you're just people of colour.
Yeah, I'm just like, they just lump us all together. I'm like,
it's the melanin scale.
We sit on here, this thing. All of us, all different shades. Yeah. But they just lump it. Oh no,
you're together.
But I was going to ask you guys. So, you know, obviously we spoke about the angry black woman thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've experienced that? Because I feel like I have, where people are trying to...
Yeah.
Where people try, they'll say like the smallest thing to you, like, oh, don't get frustrated, calm down. Calm
That's what sent me over the edge.
That makes me so
That's what I was like, all right, hold on,
What are you saying now?
hold my earrings.
Where my Vaseline at?
Calm down. I was calm.
Until you said that.
What do you mean? Calm down. And I feel like it's this thing where it's like the moment you express any kind of passion or any kind of...
You're being aggressive.
Don't take it to heart. Don't be angry. Don't get frustrated.
No,
I was
it's
in a meeting,
annoying.
right? I was in a meeting. I was rattled. You know, you have to... So I was rattled in the meeting kind of thing. Then, but after the meeting, I'm one of those people, I don't take my work home with me. Yeah. So even if something happens at work, you know, there's no way that I'm going home and I'm now affected by it. I'm kind of like, oh, you guys don't you don't pay my bills. You don't do anything for me. So it's very much like, okay, I've left work kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, literally after the meeting, I was fine again. You know, these ones, you come out the meeting, it's okay, you know, words were said, you know,
but you shook it off.
But it's fine, you know, let's just keep it pushing. I can literally speak to those same colleagues and be like, hey, you know, like it's fine. Like, I really don't care. Come see one of my colleagues. You know, it's okay, you know, don't get frustrated. Frustrated?
No, man.
Because
annoying.
When he was saying it to me, I'm literally standing with someone laughing.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you can see I'm fine.
Yeah.
So why are you bringing it up?
Yeah.
And then my first instinct was just to be like, I'm not frustrated, I'm just passionate. And I just like, then I carried on talking. Because I was like, my friend,
shut up.
Sometimes
you just need to respect yourself. Yeah, shut up.
I hate it worse when it's like with other peers, like with people you have to work with to close deals and stuff like that. And you're just like passionate about something and they're like, okay, I think maybe we started on the wrong foot. And I'm just like, yeah, that's all you got, 2 ugly feet. Because, bruv, I didn't start on the wrong foot. I'm telling you what's going to happen here. You're not going to waste my time. Okay? And that's about it. You know, I'm just passionate about it.
Distinguish
That's how I work. I'm literally like, okay, let's get this done now.
I had a situation in my old place, like before I had Nate and everything. And me and my colleague, he looks like me.
What do you mean he looks like?
He was black.
Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like me. So we were just having a conversation. And so we were just having a conversation about something. And then one of our other colleagues came in now. And then she was just like, what's going on here? You guys look like you're having a right sassy conversation. And I thought, a sassy conversation.
What do you mean?
I've heard that word.
What does it mean?
Be associated with like, you know, when someone's kind of like almost like an attitude.
Yeah.
So sassy. Why are you being so sassy? It's kind of like.
But in that context, in the work environment, like what does that mean?
I was just like, but I know what it means.
Okay.
So I in that context, I knew exactly what she was aiming at because I think we were kind of like, we were actually just imitating something. So I think there was a bit of neck rolling, blah, blah. So we were just joking about something, like literally just, I think we were talking about something dumb like Love and Hip Hop, to be honest with you. I think it was something stupid like that. And so we were just like, blah, 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 blah. She was like, ooh, this looks like a sassy conversation. And I was just like,
bye.
I just looked at her and I was just like, I didn't even know what to say. I literally was lost for
that's how black
people
talk.
I was lost for words. And I never like to make it a thing of like, you know, a black thing, a white thing, a mixed race thing, an Asian thing. I don't even want to make it that. But then sometimes it's kind of like, well, what the heck are you actually talking about right now?
No, but the thing is, I think a lot of people don't realise they do have a bias. And whether it's conscious or unconscious, they don't realise that by that using that language, it's showing that they have a thought process around because of the way you look, that you're going to have a certain attitude or way about you. And she's expressed that sassy. Because more time, if she saw another hue of colleague opposite to yours, potentially doing the same thing, she wouldn't use that
probably wouldn't use that word.
Stephanie, you see, if that had happened and I had seen Aimbos giving sass, I'd be like, why are they trying to act black for? Like
So I would never think that.
So yesterday I was watching a video of Bad Barbie or whatever, the girl white, I was like, but why is she doing all of that black stuff? Like, why is she trying to act black?
So it's so funny you say that because I was having this conversation with my sister. And I was, and I always have this conversation as well. So it's quite interesting. Our conversations moved here about what it is to act black.
And white.
And white,
But I thought you were white when I first heard your voice on the phone.
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, that's a whole conversation in itself because I don't know, what is it to act black though? Because is there a act black?
I really do
absolutely hate that comment.
Attach that statement to white people in America for some reason that try and act black. So I would never say, oh, this British girl's trying to act black. I don't know why. It's only for people in America. But I think, I don't know, like, you know, there's a way that black people talk in America. unfortunately, a lot of them talk like they are uneducated because, yes, a lot of them were derived from slavery. And when I hear white people talk like that, I'm just like, why are they trying to chat back though?
So the thing is, for me, I think there's a very clear difference between somebody who's black from a cultural perspective. Because I feel like there's people both here and in America that have been brought up in, I guess, what you'd consider urban, one or two people that you would say, oh, but you're not black, but you're able to relate to me. Are there certain things I'll say, certain way I'll say things, certain language I'll use that you'll be able to, because you've been raised in a certain environment. And actually, when you use that same language, it's almost like we give them a pass because it's kind of like, you've earned that right, or you've been brought up. So is there a thing where people have to kind of, is there a rite of passage before you can kind of speak like that or act like that?
Do you know what? I even hate that this is even a conversation.
It's interesting. It should be a conversation.
No. I know what you mean. I think it's a good conversation, but I hate that it's actually a thing.
Yeah.
Like to be black or to be white. Why can't you just be? You know, I just like, and not to be, but to sound. How can you sound a colour?
I agree with you.
So
how can you sound a shade?
It's the way you articulate yourself, I think. Like, but then, you see, like with George, Georgina, and then her English surname. If I heard her over the phone, like people will be quick to assume she's a white girl, like until they see her and think, oh, because it's happened to you before, right, George? When you
it's happened to me before.
But isn't that?
But then, what I think, when stuff like that happens, number one, I think that sometimes we can be our own stereotype in the sense of, I personally wouldn't be like to someone, oh, you're trying to sound black or you're trying to sound white. Because if I hear somebody and somebody says to them that, oh, you're trying to sound black, and they're talking about, yeah, man, but you get me like this and blah, 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 and they're talking like that, I feel offended.
Yeah.
I actually feel offended because number one, that's not my vocabulary and that's not how I speak. That's not how I sound. And I've had people say to me, I had one of my colleagues actually recently say to me, oh, Georgia, you sound like you're from up north.
Oh, yeah, I remember
I grew up in South London, darling. Yeah. That's exactly where I grew up. And I went to school. Do you understand? I went to school, I went to college, I went to university. So I'm well educated and I'm a professional in my day-to-day job. So when people then say something like, oh, you don't sound like a black girl, or you don't behave like a typical black girl. What does that typical black girl act and sound like? Because I feel very offended.
What are the typical black girls
biases that we all have.
Yeah,
we all have biases whereby we'll pick up the phone and hear someone that's quite well spoken, and then something maybe subconsciously just says, oh, what is that person in terms of their race? Yeah. What is that? But the thing is, for me personally, I turn that. I'm quick to turn that off. Yeah. Because the moment I'll think like that, I turn it off. There was this program, funnily enough, right? I don't know if any of you saw it, it was a while back. And they recorded people's brainwaves when they saw certain people. And there was this young lady, I think she was of Asian origin. And every time she saw a black person, the fear receptor in her brain went off. No. Yeah. She was not, she wasn't aware of it. Yeah, she wasn't aware of it. She was happy. She has black friends. She's like, she does not consider herself personally a racist. But it's a subconscious bias that she has. But the difference between her and people that are probably more racist or prejudiced, as soon as hers went up, it went off again. So it went up and then it went off again. Whereas people that were maybe racist or prejudiced, it was just there and it was continuing. So obviously she's got it because of her experiences, life, whatever, but it's there. And I think that's what most people tend to build up over time. You have a bias, and then after a while, you yourself will be like, no. Yeah. Subconsciously, you just it's a 100% thing. It's not even something you even think about. But I think, like you said, we can be our own worst enemy in that respect by perpetuating some of those
100%.
Yeah. Because if somebody does say that to me, oh, you're acting black or you're doing this, it's my responsibility to be like, no,
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. If that's you, then make it be you, and don't push that onto me because I'm not associated with that. Like, that's that.
And similarly, being someone saying to a black person, and especially black people do this a lot. Oh, you sound so white. Why you sound white?
Yeah.
Why are you about it like that?
That's why I said that. And white, because they do that a lot.
Excuse me, I'm speaking the same Queen's English that you should be able to speak, please.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, so how am I supposed to speak? Because I was educated in England, so I would have an English accent, or something. I don't understand. I don't understand either. I can't understand that at all.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's up to us to be like, no, I'm speaking how I know how to speak. If you consider that speaking white, that's up to you. But I believe that I'm speaking in an appropriate way. As you guys know, I don't know. I speak for myself. I can turn whatever on and off.
Yeah.
I can speak however I want to speak.
Yeah, 100%. Like and I feel like there's a time and a place for everything.
Exactly.
There's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah, I think the other time, remember where we were? I can't remember what it was. Remember we was recorded somewhere else, and we had to tell them to stop making noise.
Oh yeah.
In Paris. When we were in Paris.
No, not in Paris. When we were in South. And they were making noise banging.
Yes,
in Paris is what happened. Me, I just know how to just hello. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's just an element of who I am. And I think people forget you can be multifaceted. You don't have to be one thing.
You know, you have to know how to turn it on. And again, talking about the workplace environment, because sometimes you're in the workplace environment and there are some people, and again, I see it as well in Black people where they don't know how to turn it on and off. And when I mean turn it on and off, I don't mean turn it on and off to be Black, because I know there'll be some listeners that'll be like, oh my God.
But you just say it.
I didn't say that. So listen, what I mean is like they don't know how to differentiate between being in a professional environment and just being, I almost want to say civil in your speech and just speak calmly, and just be professional. And there's a way how you speak to your friends, because the way how I will speak to you guys on a day-to-day basis is not how I'm going to be speaking to my colleagues.
And that's just the way how it
audience.
is. Like sometimes it's like if I want to be received a certain way, there's certain things I maybe won't say or won't or the way I'll say it will be different.
Exactly.
But that's to anybody, not just in a professional environment. More time, if you want someone to do something for you, for example, you're not going to approach them with hands gesticulating.
You can
try and build a rapport with them.
Chasing flies.
Daphne's favorite meal.
But I just feel like I think we as a people specifically forget everybody else. I think if we're going to talk about ourselves, let's talk about
ourselves.
Yeah, let's talk about
I think Black people in general, not specifically any one people, but in general, I'm generalizing, heavily generalizing, do tend to be, I think, their worst own worst enemies when it comes to like people talking about what it is to be Black or to represent a certain culture or to do this.
It's almost weird to say, but it's like there's racism amongst us.
100%. 100%.
Especially when it comes to like all the colorism thing and everything. But there's like racism amongst us. So
100%.
So how do we change that, peoples?
I don't know.
You know what?
Well, sorry, just really random. Have you guys heard Megan's like English accent?
No. Does she actually go on?
Oh yeah, because she has to go to a language school.
She's got a bit of a twang now, of a British twang. It just sounds bare mad. I'm just like, Megan,
wait, she goes to a language school?
They have to. So to be in all of the royals do. That's why they all sound.
What did they call it?
The Queen's English.
What's that thing when you go elocution?
Yeah.
So she has to go there.
Well, I don't know what she's doing.
In her arms.
The L to roll up your tongue.
But that'll take a long time because I don't have to roll my tongue.
I can roll mine.
Seriously, I can't roll my tongue.
You need some more okra in your life.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You raised your eyebrows. Is there something I'm missing?
I got caramel in my life, so. So that's enough tongue rolling for me.
Roll my tongue.
Are you back in the room now?
Are you done?
She's just like,
I'm gone.
Anyway. So I feel like going back to, I guess, what we're talking about, Megan, I think people need to be sensitive to cultural differences as well. Because whilst I don't know Megan, I don't know her background, I don't know how she grew up, whatever. But I think people need to understand that you can't just tarnish her with a label.
Yeah.
But also in that same respect, you acknowledge that yes, she is Black or she is American or whatever she is, and she has been brought up a certain way.
Yeah.
So just because it doesn't conform to what your expectations are or what you're used to, doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah.
And I think the British have this thing where it's like, our way is the right way.
They're
just so like, they're very rigid as a people. They're just like, well, this is the way we do it here. And you're just like,
and if you can't do it that way, kick rocks, basically.
Yeah, just let her live.
Move your
let her live.
Let her live.
Like this, and it's such a massive change for her. It's a huge adjustment, and she's left everything. She's left everything she's worked for,
like her work
to
and everything.
basically be
because
to be with this man.
If them got a chance to do private jet,
bro,
they'll be there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like, come with me. Why don't you come
private
with us?
jet?
They'll be there.
I think it all started though where her
'Cause I will go.
family turned their back on her type of thing. Like when her dad was coming out to break
Her
all
dad,
these
imagine
stories. Her nephew, I don't, what?
Her
there was a show
sister.
on,
Her sister, I remember her
MTV
sister, yeah.
about the royals.
Samantha
And
Markle.
her nephew was on the show. Yeah, her sister. So I think that's given everyone it's paved
Like
the way for
ammunition.
everyone basically.
Bearing in mind
Yeah.
that was the side of the family that she didn't actually speak to.
Yeah.
Like it's her dad's side of the family. Her dad's
Yeah.
Mexican. She does not speak to them. They're her step siblings.
Yeah.
Not the
Like,
side.
it's just
haters.
kind of like leave her alone.
Yeah.
Why is it now that she's now royal that you're now
That's what I was gonna say.
bugging this girl's life?
Well,
Was
aren't
it
they
she?
trying
The
to-
thing
That's what
is,
happens, though.
you know,
Like,
you know
you
the
know,
trying to
once
talk to her
hit
now.
you know the
jackpot.
thing is, Meghan was married before, you know.
Yeah.
Meghan was married before. Why didn't they come out the woodworks then?
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
People are leeches, you know.
They're leeches, scrapes.
100%.
That's what they
But
are.
it's funny because as much it was banter and jokes though. But remember when she became the royal and everyone was like, "Oh, that's my cousin."
That's my cousin. Oh my God. Finally, we're royal.
We're in there.
Our
Yes.
special guest is here.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Alright, guys.
So I think are we good on this episode? Do
Are
wanna
we good on
continue?
this seven? Yeah,
To
we're good.
conclude, let the girl breathe. Yeah, just
Melanin, Magic, Monarch. Let Meghan live.
Yes.
Leave
Oh,
her
I like
alone.
that.
Let her live.
Is that what we call her?
Melanin.
No, I just called her that.
Monarch.
I just called her that.
Yes.
It's a
It rolls off the tongue.
Yes.
Correctly.
It rolls.
Thanks for listening to another episode of
And on that note,
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend, your aunties, your uncles, your sisters, and the whole shambaz. Thank you.
Bye.